Hey, this is Alex Astley, and it's episode number 99 of Money Hacks as we're winding down the end of 2022 here in the early part of December. One of the questions we're getting in a lot of our financial coaching sessions is around student loan forgiveness. Of course, earlier this year, the Biden administration passed an executive order that would allow up to $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven, or $20,000 for those who had a Pell Grant when they were a student, based on certain income limits or limitations. This program was contested and struck down by a court, and it's now been appealed and is headed to likely a battle in the Supreme Court to see if the program, if the student loan forgiveness plan will move forward. In the meantime, a lot of individuals, investors and savers we talk to who have student loan debt are wondering, what should I do? Of course, for the last couple of years, student loan payments have been under a moratorium where they've not been accruing interest and you've not been required to make payments to your student loans. And we know that during the pandemic period and now into 2022, a year where we've had a rough time in the markets, high levels of inflation, increased costs, that a lot of individuals and households have taken advantage of that moratorium to manage their cash flow and not pay their student loans. The moratorium period was set to end on December 31st of this year, so that in January you would be required to resume your payments. Interest would continue to accrue on those payments. But just recently, in the last week or so, the administration has extended that one more time, right now out to the end of June, in effort to see if their student loan plan can get finalized through hearings in the Supreme Court, so that anybody who has a certain levels of debt can have it forgiven. And we know a lot of people have already actually applied, have completed that application, which is in a bit of limbo. So what should you do now? Well, first of all, I would encourage anybody who has student loan debt that exceeds the proposed limits of forgiveness, $10,000 or $20,000, to start repaying your student loans. Because it's very likely, if the White House is able to move forward with their plan, that those are the limits that are going to be set. They won't go higher, and potentially they're going to be at that level or maybe less. And therefore, if you have student loan debt above those limits, really this is a great opportunity to start paying down those student loans in the next 6 months where you're not accruing interest. It's a chance to allow your payments to go further. And so I think this is a good time as we get to the end of the year to reassess your cash flow, reassess your budget. And if you're able to make payments to your student loans and maybe make higher payments while they're not accruing interest, this is the right time to do it. Please don't delay and wait until the middle of next year when the loans kick back in again and you're required to start making payments and you're accruing interest without taking advantage of this period of time. Obviously, each individual's circumstances are different, and you might have other financial goals or priorities that you're trying to navigate in context or in conjunction with your student loan payments. For those who have student loan debt that's below that limit, less than $10,000 or $20,000, you met or you're below the income threshold that would allow you for the forgiveness plan, assuming it moves forward. It's a little bit of a catch-22. Do you start making payments and pay them down or pay them off without interest, potentially giving up some of that forgiveness you would have received if it is to get reinstated, or do you hang tight? I think, again, your individual situation will vary and warrant the action steps that are right for you. But if you have questions, if you'd like to go through a financial planning session and identify what are the best steps you can take when it comes to your overall financial picture as well as your student loans, please feel free to reach out to us. You can find us on social, or for those who we serve as your retirement plan advisor, send us an email or give us a call and we can talk more about this. At any rate, 2023, at least the early part of the year, we anticipate we'll have some sort of resolution one way or another on what this means for the initial efforts for student loan forgiveness.